Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohamad SYAHIN bin Muhammad No. My number matric is 208532, and today I'm going to present my FCE 3804 early school experience. So my presentation will start with the school profile. This is the school profile. And then the next one is the school history. So my school is founded by the Honorable Tan Sri Dr. Wan Muhammad Zahid bin Nordin, the Director of Education in Kelantan. And then 1991, it changed its name from Sekolah Menengah Jalan Payang to Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Datuk Ahmad Mahir. And then fast forward, in 2008, Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Datuk Ahmad Mahir has been certified as School Cluster School of Excellence. The next one is the vision and mission. So the mission is conserving a qualified educational system for the potential development to fulfill the country's aspiration. And then for the vision is to have a qualified education, educated human, and harmonized country. So this is the school infrastructure. This is also the school infrastructure. As we can see, this is the school environment that we have in Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Datuk Ahmad Mahir. And then this is the school environment. So what I want to tell here is this school environment, which is the classroom itself, it has the 21st century school classroom management. So I can see that it is very good because it is proven to have good response or good performance students that have this kind of arrangement class. The next one is the teaching and learning activities. So based on my observation, I have two observations. First one is 4th October and the second one is 14th October. So for the 4th October, the activity is to create an advertisement of a product to sell. I have group work discussion, a presentation, and then for the 14th October, we have the speaking text activity. So the strength of this teaching and learning activity is it promotes creative thinking, promotes soft skills, collaborative learning, and also peer review. Why I say promote creative thinking, because as we can see from the picture before, this is the example of the students in the class, which is the smart notebooks. So basically, they want to do a book that is self-written by itself. So that is what I think that the strength, which is promote creative thinking. But for the weaknesses, the students need supervision. It is unrealistic to the real world, and students sometimes nervous to output opinions. What I say unrealistic to the real world, it is because it's good to have a book that is self-writing, but I do think that it has more pros, more cons, and then pros, because like when you have this kind of book that's self-writing, so students may get lazy, and that is the reason why I say it is unrealistic to the real world. The next one is the teaching use. So basically, my teacher used English Form 4 textbook, whiteboard, marker, and also reading paper for the speaking test activity. The strength is it provides sufficient information, approved by MOE, Ministry of Education, and then it have clear guidelines and instruction which refer to the textbook. But the weaknesses is the only reference books is used in the class is the textbook, and also I see that sometimes, not sometimes, but the students depend on the textbook. So I think that it is a weakness because we can have any other sources of reference to use in class to make the learning more engaging. And then the next one is the pedagogical approach. So my teacher used the deductive approach and interactive learning. Deductive approach means that my teacher my teacher will say the rules first and then the examples to the students. And then for the interactive learning, we have the group work, we have the presentation. That refers to the interactive learning. So the strength by having this deductive learning, deductive approach, is it will provide rules for students to understand the task, and then it will clarify everything before the start of the activity. And then it also teacher-centered, and it is a two-way of communication. But apart from that, which is the weaknesses, I think that teacher will have this kind of assumption that students might understand all. It means that sometimes when we do activities, we might have questions, but prior to this point, which is the weakness, assumption that student might understand all, and my teacher using the deductive approach. So maybe students kind of scared to ask questions because their teacher already assumed that they understand. And sometimes students might get bored because the only one that talking in the class is their teacher, and maybe they could be very sleepy. The next point is preparation of lesson plan. So as I said before, textbook is the main material for TNL. The students need to prepare activities according to the previous lesson. So basically, I just know that basically the activities that they've done in the classroom, which is the advertisement one, is basically according to the previous lesson. And then the next one is it must provide ample time to do the activities. And then the lesson plan for the strength, it is easy for students to perfect their learning because it is basically on the previous learning, suitable to use in the classroom, which is refers to the lesson plan, and it also simple yet meaningful, also refers to the lesson plan. But the weaknesses of this lesson plan, it doesn't include technology, NLP, technology like like you use video, visual, and then audio, those kind of materials, which refers to the technology in your learning that you included can include it in your LP, which can make the learning more interesting and engaging. And then the next one is it is only one source of reference, which is the textbook. And then the implementation of HOTS. HOTS is high order thinking skills. I identified three, which is creating, analyzing, and also evaluating. So the strength of having these high order thinking skills, students able to pick something new, which refers to the creating. The students can compare their answer with others, which refers to the analyzing. And then the last one is teacher can critically examine the student's idea, which refers to evaluating. But for the weaknesses, it is unsuitable for low proficiency learners. It also could create anxieties because it is a high level of teaching thinking skills, and also it needs extra explanation from the teacher. The next one is based on my observation in the class. I could tell that I can conclude that interactive activities and in need for active participation in the classroom will make the TNL session more engaging and more impactful to the students themselves. Next is the school culture of Sekolah Menengah Bahasa Arab MUHAMAD. We have three, which is Al-Quran recitation, psychometric test, Al-Jab, Al-Jahari, and Al-Safa Center, and also they have their own niche area, which is the public speaking and the ICT. I want to put or emphasize on psychometric test. So basically what it means by psychometric test is basically when this student, Form 3 students, they want to enter the upper level of this upper level form, which is Form 4 and Form 5, they will have this kind of psychometric test in order to evaluate whether they are suitable to take science stream or literature stream or social science stream. So this is a very good school culture, very good approach in my opinion, because it could lead the students to their success in the future, because we know like SPM, like all of the people say that SPM is the indicator of the future. And then this is the strength, which is ability to identify the student's ability, able to identify the student ability and science streams preference, create a convenience environment to study, and also students able to spiritually engagement, which refers to the Al-Quran recitation. But the weaknesses, students will anxious to answer the test because, as I said before, it is for your future, for your SPM examination. So it's okay for the student to feel anxious, but it is one of the weaknesses of having the psychometric test. And then the students can take for granted, which refers to the centers that have facilities. So students might take for granted because they have this kind of facilities that is very comfortable for them. The next one is how culture is practiced or nurtured. So basically it's based on the teacher's school intention, goals and aims, and also the environment. So importance of school and work culture to teacher professionalism is basically to understand how the school works, how to create a better engagement with the school, and to choose the most suitable pedagogical approach prior to the culture of the school. The conclusion. So in my opinion, my 2 times week in Sekolah Menengah Bahasa Arab MUHAMAD had given me the gist of acknowledge the real life situation in the school and the work culture, the organizational structure of school, ethics, timing in school, and numerous advices that I gained during doing my past. And I hope that this is only the one step from 1,000 journey as a future English educator. And then the suggestion for improvement of the school, I think that in my opinion, the school need to have and create a stronger bond between administrators and teachers, as well as teachers with teachers, because it could lead them to much more collaboration and cooperation in terms of working together as a team. Plus the dependency towards PTA, which refers to the Parents Teachers Association and Alumni School, for any program made in terms of financial issues could be lessened by time. Second to last slide is the Sulam program. So personally, I want to propose an educational carnival that UPM students organize, which includes my faculty, which is the Faculty of Educational Studies, to join with this school to promote the TESOL course in this school. This is because this educational carnival might be a good approach for secondary school to know about UPM, especially the TESOL course. As personally, I can see their interest, their passion, and also their proficiency. Even I can say that some of them are high level proficiency in English subject. So that's why I think that having an educational carnival is good for the Sulam program. I think that's all from my presentation today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you.